Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my Harugumo. Uh, Ship finally got released, and I am going to do a commentary since there's probably going to be a lot of people out there wondering about the ship. Um, I love it, and we'll get into it why as the game goes on. We're going to look at the matchmaking right now. Um, Couple battleships. Honestly, everything on here is food. Uh, and that should tell you about how strong the ship is. Um, I run a little bit different build on Harugumo than I do on other ships. Um, so I'll give you a breakdown of it as we go on. So going through the lineup right now, and I'm just going right for cap. No need to beat around the bush. No nothing. Um, the ship is extremely strong as long as you don't overextend. And the key to being successful in this boat is knowing when you're about to overextend, when do you need to have that ounce of caution and fall back. If you notice my build, I'm running Superintendent. I'm also running Survivability Expert. Um, Also running Basic Firing Training and Demo Expert. I'm not running IFHE. In my opinion, this boat doesn't need it. IFHE's great on Kitakaze, it's great on Akizuki, great on Harakaze. This boat, it's so sluggish. I am running a full concealment build on it that you have some survivability issues. So from my standpoint, this thing's like a giant Kutuzov to me. That's about how I play it. A Kutuzov with really good torps and pretty good concealment for a Kutuzov. um, so I'm pushing in here. I'm expecting to get radared. There was a couple radar ships in the game, and one of our cruisers, probably the Stalingrad, lit up the kid, and I'm just gonna start throwing shells, doing what this thing does best, and focusing on the kid right now. He's an easier target just because he's backing up. Um, you know, that's pretty much why I didn't shoot that enemy Harugumo. Yes, that kid can heal back some of it, but in general, I feel that I got more damage on that on that kid than I would the Harugumo that was a little bit further and maneuvering. Um, so what I'm doing is I basically started counting, and we're roughly equal forces here, but their forces are closer to the cap than my team. So rather than try to duke it out to the death over the cap, I'm just gonna come over here, and I'm gonna try to get some spotting in, try to see what's going on. I'm spotting this buffalo, calling target. Gonna drop some torps right in here. This is a popular lane for enemy ships to hang out. Well, ships in the northern spawn to hang out. If your team's here, they try to like sit in behind this island and play cutesy games, shooting around the island. Um, so I go on ahead and I smoke up for the first time. And I smoke up because I've got a couple different battleships in view. I've got torpedoes on the way, and I'm looking to really be able to punish anything. Now here, I'm shattering a ton of shells. I'm not getting, any real result out of those shells. Um, but I'm doing what I want. I'm starting fires. I want, maximum fire potential with this. I back out of the smoke intentionally. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to spot the guys that dropped off, because I thought that Iowa would actually eat a torp. He did. He's actually flooding right now. I was kind of hoping the Iowa would shoot when I went back in the smoke, but he didn't. So I'm just gonna keep working on this Musashi. And, you know, right about now, my spider sense is tingling. I'm expecting torpedoes from this smoke over in here. You see me, I just looked right there, kind of see what's going on. I've been here, you know, long enough. It's too dangerous for me to use the full duration of my smoke. So that's just me gonna play safe, move on. Instead, I'm gonna move up here and start trying to spot. And I mean, you can see how much damage I did during that initial smoke. I mean, I've still got a fire on that Yamato, or maybe that I was still flooding. I don't know. I didn't check the tick close enough. Um, but this build is all about maximum survival and damage over time. Um, it's pen is good enough in my opinion that if you get up close with or you get in a fight with a destroyer, you're good to go. And that to me is the only time I really like to take IFHE on ships. It's just so goddamn expensive. Um, I mean, you're giving up, you know, 10% torpedo DPM, 10%, you know, gun reload, or you know, HP, or just there's just a ton of stuff that you can be giving up in exchange for a little bit of pen that, for me, you know, whatever. I mean, you look at how many fires I've already gotten on that Yamato, and I mean, that thing is one of the most fire-resistant ships in the game. Or, that's a Musashi, so, excuse me. I'm just treating the guy like he's a torch, you know. He's nothing but a tiki torch to me. Harugumo pops up, and just gonna get with it. Pop speed boost, that's always something critical that you want to do in a destroyer. If you're in active combat, use your goddamn speed boost. I see so many guys sending me replays that they don't use their consumables in a fight, and they end up eating extra damage when they could have, you know, used that extra maneuverability to mitigate some of that damage. Right here, I'm just kill securing. No shame. I, you know, finished him low health targets. He's a tier 9 cruiser. He could easily be getting a heal off. Up here, what I'm doing is kind of dangerous. I'm just shooting like mad. With that Harugumo that was in the smoke, he could easily be shooting me up. I do have a smoke available if I need to use it. But other than that, I'm actually going to pause it right here, so you can see what's going on. Basically, this Harugumo had popped his smoke. This smoke screen was here, and I pushed up into this island because what I was seeing was this island and this smoke screen overlapping. And what I was aiming for is, you notice I've been shooting for a couple salvos. I'm not detected. You know, the enemy destroyers have misplayed, and by laying this smoke screen here, even though my range runs all the way out to 14.6 kilometers because I'm running range mod, um, I'm still undetected. And that tells me exactly where everything's at, where, you know, everything's all in, tucked in behind this island. It tells me I've got nothing to worry about except right in here, because everything else already fled through here. You got this kid coming back, but this guy's not gonna last. He's trying to duck into this smoke real quick. But the DPM of this ship, it's just, no way. No way. You can't do that. You know, I could have sat there and fired, you know, probably another 3 salvos at him and, you know, wasted him. Now, if you look at the damage now, we're already up to 91k, and I've only still used 1 smoke screen. Damage over time. And a lot of that is pressure on this Musashi and these battleships that I've been doing, and I've also been pummeling these destroyers when they pop up. And it's just nasty. You're gonna see me turn right here. This is just me counting in my head roughly the amount of time that it takes for 67 knot torpedoes to reach me at 8 kilometers. If you don't know it, spend some time in the training room and figure it out. Um, but basically just slammed on my brakes, turned in, and that guy was so low HP that, all I'm doing is just ensuring that that I wasn't going to eat a torp. Um, at this point, get another fire on Musashi, and I'm just gonna push in here. Um, I don't have anything to fear. I've killed all the DDs. This is nothing but food time, and apparently I didn't have my mic muted when I played this game. And that's how confident I feel in this ship. This ship, you literally can kill everything on the enemy team with this ship, and it's one of the few destroyers that I feel have that capability where you can reasonably, do that. I get plane spotted by Musashi's plane. Cyclone, it's BS. You basically have like a 1 kilometer window of notification for a plane that's gonna spot you. So he got like a 5 or 6 second window. Fortunately, they weren't able to actually get guns on me. Before he disappeared, you could see that he was turning out. So no sense in me actually sitting right here. Those torpedoes are pretty much waste. Fletcher torps are out on the Iowa. I'm kind of interested right now in seeing if they're going to do anything. Mainly because I don't want to, I can't get crazy with a 2v1. I mean, points wise, we're still down, even though they've got a ship, or we've got a major ship lead. The Fletcher torps end up killing the Iowa, and that's my cue. Okay, let's just get it on. No sense in playing around. I didn't even use that smoke screen for damage. We're sitting at 100,000. By the time all this fire damage is ticked off on people. Musashi's coming in like I know he's got to be. So what I'm doing, I'm popping my speed boost and I'm moving towards his bow. He's pushing in this way, and I'm looking to see where his guns are. And with his guns pointed this way, he's gonna have a hard time trying to keep his turret traverse up, and I'm gonna let him push right into me. He's got to try to turn his ship, and when he locks his rudder over, he exposes his ship to easy torpedoes. I switched to AP here. He's starting to give just enough where it could be a thing. Now you'll notice I keep turning out. I drop my torps just slightly short, expecting he might try to stop. He looks like he's keep turning broadside. He's turning out. So I just keep working on the stern of the ship and, hammer the guy. It's really hard for a battleship to handle you when you're like that. You've got to have some really bad RNG because you're full broadside the entire time. Even a ship as thick as Harugumo, staying full broadside that close, it's really difficult for them to to be able to handle that. Um, yeah, all the overpins, it can hurt. You get hit with 9 shells, and yeah, it's still gonna lop a bunch of damage off. So it's a last ditch kind of thing. This was kind of just the crowning. You hear me chuckling. This ship is just so amusing. Um, you know, I mean, what can I say? It's just a really strong ship. Um, again, I probably run it different than most people, where I don't like to run IFHE on it currently. I prefer the extra survivability with the extra smoke. I can be more proactive smoking up, working around caps. If I get detected at a bad time, I can use that smoke screen to disengage and still have, 3 smokes to finish getting that damage in. Um, you know, the flip side is, if you're doing the IFHE builds, you're typically, um, you might not want to be running superintendent, um, and you end up with those situations where the only thing you can really do is try to open water gunboat, and it can be really painful with this boat, even with 14 kilometers of range. Um, it's just the battleship turning circle. And as this ship's in the game longer, people are going to have this more and more dialed in. So for me, I opt for, like I said, max survivability with max HE or max hit points, maximum number of smokes, speed boost. I also run the engine boost module on it to try to offset how slow this thing is, and you see how often I'm cycling through my speed boost. Soon as I'm expecting combat, or I am in combat, I'm engaging it, and I've got that 3 minutes of extra oomph to try to get this fat pig of a boat to do what I want it to do. Gun wise, she's fabulous, fantastic. I adore the guns, the torpedoes. I'm even more in love with the torpedoes. It's just the 6 torpedo spread. It's magnificent. I love it. Um, I wish Shimikaze's spreads were that narrow, that tight. It's definitely something that is very attractive to me. So Harugumo, um, this game was pretty much, I did 100K without breaking a sweat, and then just YOLO'd a battleship for the rest. It's you know this ship is just stupid strong with, and all you need to do, don't make sure you overextend. If you overextend, you will die very quickly, very bloody, and you'll have very little to show for it. You know, so Haragumo, if you like Akazuki, this thing is it's a dream come true. So I hope you guys have a good night, and you'll be seeing more Haragumo later on. I'm doing some testing right now, and so my schedule's a little wonky. Um, but you'll be getting some more content soon. Hope you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you later.